Jimmy Fallon is no stranger to the spotlight, but what just happened has left everyone in complete shock. Behind the laughter and late-night charm, something serious has surfaced, and it's raising more questions than answers. How did a beloved TV host find himself at the center of a scandal that's shaking up the industry? This is a story full of twists and surprises. Keep watching to find out what went down and why it's turning heads everywhere. James Thomas Fallon, born on September 19, 1974 in Brooklyn, New York, is the son of Gloria and James W. Fallon. He has a diverse heritage with German, Norwegian, and Irish roots. Fallon's father spent his adolescence singing in street-corner doo-wop groups, then served in the Vietnam War shortly after his birth. His family moved to Shrewsbury, New York, where his father worked for IBM. Fallon described his childhood as idyllic but overprotected, spending much of his time at home with his older sister Gloria. Jimmy Fallon grew up in a Catholic household, hardly surprising when you consider his mother's somewhat unique background. "My mom was a nun at one point, isn't that bizarre?" Fallon revealed during a visit to the Howard Stern show. According to Fallon, his mother wasn't married to the church for all that long, for like a week, he said. But technically it counts. His parents, in fact, got together after she'd quit being a nun, leading Fallon to quip she married Jesus as her first husband, with co-host Robin Quivers interjecting, "and then cheated on him." Fallon revealed that he himself once flirted with joining the church as a priest by becoming an altar boy. "I loved it. I really got into it," he shared on the radio show of his ambitions, but admitted that the notion didn't survive beyond the 8th grade. Appearing at the New Yorker festival, Fallon shared more memories of his near miss with the priesthood. "I love the whole idea of it," Fallon said. As reported, "I love dressing up. I love the smell of incense." Fallon explained that he has come to realize there were showbiz motivations behind his interest in becoming a priest. "It's my first experience on stage as an altar boy," he recounted. "You're on stage next to the priest. I'm a co-star." Once he moved on from the idea of the priesthood, young Jimmy Fallon set his sights on the entertainment industry. During an episode of The Tonight Show, Fallon displayed his 8th grade yearbook open to a page in which his teacher made predictions about the futures of her students. The camera panned down the page to a photo of his younger self sitting in front of a computer. He read the teacher prediction: "James Fallon will replace David Letterman on the late night show." Fallon jokingly added, "I want to go to the racetrack with this teacher pretty close." By the time he hit adolescence, Fallon had become obsessed with Saturday Night Live. So intent was he to not miss even the tiniest nuance, he insisted on watching each episode alone. "I just didn't want anyone ruining my experience," he told in a show No Small Talk. "I wanted to see the sketches, the new characters." What the angle was, his parents leniently allowed him to enhance his viewing experience by enjoying a few brewskis despite his not being old enough to legally drink. "I'd just sit by myself and I would have a six-pack of Paps," he said. "I don't know if I made it all the way through the six, but I'd just sit there and watch the show and tape it." During his teen years living in upstate New York, Jimmy Fallon discovered he had a talent for mimicry. One day his mother was listening to the radio when she caught wind of a contest seeking the funniest undiscovered comedian in the Hudson Valley. It was a Bananas Comedy Club in Pipey, New York, and it was 2 or 3 minutes of an impression. "My mom said, 'Jimmy, you should do this because you do all of these voices in your bedroom and I can hear you.' And I'm like, 'What else can you hear? Because this is creepy.'" Fallon recalled in an interview Fallon decided to give it a go. He put together a bit in which he impersonated 12 celebrities vying to be the spokesperson for a troll doll, and I won a lot of money. I want to say like $500 so for 2 minutes of work, and I had been working since I was 13. That was so much money," Fallon recalled. "I freaked out and said, 'This is my future, this is it.'" The cold hard truth was no, you don't make $500 every 2 minutes. Encouraged, Fallon began signing up for talent shows and wound up honing his stand-up skills when he landed a gig as the MC at that same comedy club. "On weekends I would do stand-up, adding more voices, and then eventually adding music," he said. Nearly graduating from the College of St. Rose, Jimmy Fallon decided to drop out of college and move to Los Angeles to pursue a career in comedy. He spent his first few months there sleeping on a friend's couch until finding his footing. Fallon shared that he had taken improv classes at the Groundlings and felt fortunate for the opportunities he had while there. He mentioned getting to do many exciting things, including earning his first screen credit with a small role as a photographer in the Michael J. Fox sitcom Spin City. Interestingly, another future star may have been responsible for Fallon landing the gig. When Chris Evans appeared on The Tonight Show, the Avengers actor confirmed that he was working as an intern in the Spin City casting office at that time in 1998. "Did I give you your first job?" Evans asked. "I feel like I owe my whole career to you," Fallon joked. Looking back at his audition, Fallon recalled that he didn't do anything that Special Evans however pointed to the randomness of the casting process, remembering that he'd have a huge stack of envelopes containing headshot and resumes on his desk from which his boss would pull out 2 or 3 and then toss the rest into the trash. "And you were just like, wow, this industry is brutal." Evans added it wasn't long after booking his Spin City role that Jimmy Fallon landed an audition for Saturday Night Live. Fallon revealed that he auditioned at the comic strip in New York City, performing his troll doll act, but it was a complete failure as the audience reacted poorly. He shared that Tracy Morgan was ultimately chosen for the show instead of him. Fallon returned to Los Angeles feeling as if his dream had slipped through his fingers. 1 year later, he was invited to audition again, but specifically instructed to lose the troll doll. Fallon recounted that he rewrote his act and returned to New York to audition for Saturday Night Live, despite being warned that creator Lorne Michaels rarely laughs during auditions. Fallon was thrilled when his impression of Adam Sandler made Michaels laugh so hard that he put his head in his hands. Fallon described the moment as surreal, saying he felt like he was floating as he left the stage. Tina Fey also watched that audition and recounted that she realized immediately what Fallon could bring to the show. "He's one of 2 people I've ever seen who was completely ready to be on the show. Kristen Wiig is the other one," Fey told Vanity Fair, "and Jimmy was ready like if there had been a show to do that night." One of Lorne Michaels' first Saturday Night Live edicts was to insist that the cast members not break character and laugh during a sketch, something that had become a staple of the Carol Burnett show, but which Michaels felt was a ploy to elicit cheap laughs. Jimmy Fallon, however, became known for his frequent on-stage crack-ups to the point that the act of breaking character has since come to be known as Jimmy Falloning. While audiences seemed to like it, his giggle fits weren't always appreciated by his co-stars. That was particularly true of Tracy Morgan. "That's taking all the attention off of everybody else and putting it on you, like, oh look at me, I'm the cute one." Fallon explained in an interview that he never intended to break character during sketches but often couldn't help himself. He emphasized that he always tried his best not to laugh and felt bad when it happened. However, his castmates like Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon began deliberately trying to make him laugh, knowing he was an easy target. Fallon acknowledged there were likely many sketches where he broke character that went unnoticed, but a few became famous for his reactions. One of the strangest footnotes in Jimmy Fallon's career was his short-lived side gig as a model. In fact, he was tapped to appear in some print advertisements for Calvin Klein in 2002. Fallon admitted he was surprised and thrilled when asked to model for Calvin Klein. He shared that as a comedian he never considered himself particularly good-looking, so the opportunity felt surreal. Reflecting on the experience, he joked about wanting the billboard to be placed right over the Improv Comedy Club. Fallon resurrected his ad campaign in a 2019 Instagram post. "This was a great year for Calvin Klein," he wrote. He also displayed the pics on The Tonight Show where he compared his Calvin Klein spread to that of guest Jamie Dornan. Dornan's ad features the 50 Shades of Grey star displaying his ripped physique while wearing only a pair of CK unis, while Fallon is fully clothed in his ad. "Since when does Calvin Klein make mechanics outfits? I couldn't have more clothes on," Fallon quipped. Fallon referenced his ad during a different bit for The Tonight Show in which he wrote, "Thank you. Notes, thank you." New Calvin Klein ad with Shawn Mendes for being the second hottest Calvin Klein ad of all time, Fallon said with a smile as his ad appeared on screen. Jimmy Fallon has spent decades as a performer, and his urge to entertain is apparently one that he doesn't easily shut on and off. In fact, according to various reports, Fallon has been known to unleash his musical gifts oftentimes when the cameras are off. One of those occasions was reported in 2013 when Fallon broke into song at the Old Stove Pub in the Hamptons, where he was filmed leading a raucous single of Billy Joel's Piano Man. Fallon pulled a sim stunt while vacationing in the Bahamas. According to the Caribbean Journal, the comedian led a group